Podcast for the people.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Podcast for the People. My name is Paul, and I'm your host today. And I actually have an announcement, low key, that I want to make. This is gonna be my new co-host. She doesn't even know it yet. But
I sure did it.
But I'm gonna have Rosie helping me out with these episodes. I feel like it's good to get a different perspective sometimes with my guests. So I just want to, introduce you guys to Rosie. Obviously, she was here in the last episode. And before I introduce you guys to the special guest, first I want to tell you guys, thank you guys for not only supporting me still, but for tuning in. I mean, honestly, to this episode. If you guys don't mind, leave a comment, subscribe. It's going to help get the ratings up and everything like that, and help get the interaction. So, but yeah, just to kind of not waste too many time, right now we're going to do a spotlight episode. And when I say spotlight, it's really just to shed a light on local businesses, local brands. I was able to bring the Hem Club on an episode already. And I was able to bring Chick Levant, which is with Trippy, Irv, and my boy Andretti. And we shed a spotlight on those brands, but those were clothing. And I feel like I had to kind of expand a little bit as far as businesses go. And why not bring one of my closest friends here? And before I let her introduce herself, I just want to say, really, on this podcast, I know I've told you before, but I'm super proud of you. Super proud of not only the growth, but the progress in your business and everything, and seeing everything come to light. I'm gonna let her introduce herself though, but this is one of my special guests, Swade. So go ahead and tell the people.
Hi guys, I am SlimSwade, aka Swade Beauty Bar, if you don't know. One of Paul and Rosie's very good old school friends. So I appreciate you bringing me on to this podcast. I am honored. And I'm also very proud of you guys for doing this, because this is also an amazing thing. And just shedding light on local businesses is very important, especially in a town that you grew up in. Yeah. So I know we go way back, so I'm excited to do this. I'm nervous as hell. But here we are. So thank you for bringing me on. Of course.
Thank you. And honestly, for you guys that are watching right now, Slim, just like how she said earlier, we've known each other for a long time, and it's not like we knew what we were gonna do when we first met. I've been doing this podcast since last year in August, and kind of, I took a break. I want to just thank you guys for honestly giving me that chance to just kind of get myself mentally right again, and just know everything is gonna get ramped up again. I'm gonna get these episodes out a lot quicker. Yep. And why not do episode number 10 with my friend over here one late? You know what I'm saying? So really quickly, before we get into not only your business and how you got there, but for the people that don't really know you, tell them a little bit about your background and where you came from, and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I grew up pretty much in New York City, the Lower East Side. My dad was in the Navy, so I kind of moved around a lot, but that's pretty much where I spent my middle school and high school years. So I kind of found myself in New York City. That's where my little hood, personality came from. But growing up in the city, I'm sure a lot of people are from New York. Yeah, I know how rough it is out there. So I don't know. I kind of just knew that wasn't for me. I had a great time in a way. I mean, I was out in the streets and shit, but I just knew that New York wasn't my thing. And I just took advantage when I was 17, and I moved out here with my dad. My dad was living here, and I knew I wanted to go to school. I knew I wanted to graduate college, and that's not what I was doing in New York. I was in the streets. I was not going to school. You feel me? It's easy to skip and shit like that. So, I had a little rough time in New York City, but, I always knew that I wanted to be successful, and I knew that I wanted to be better than what I grew up seeing. So that's what brought me to Florida. Actually, I made it my business to come out here, and I went to Liberty High School, where I met
home of the Chargers.
Hate that school, but exactly. But that's where I came out here, and I came out here just with an open mind and just trying to be a good person and just succeed, go to college, do shit like that, and that's what I did. But I went to college. I went to Valencia for 2 years. Nice. Wasn't my thing. I kind of have half of a paralegal degree. But I also was always into modeling growing up. I've always been skinny and tall and shit. So, you keep looking at the camera.
Nah, you good.
So I always knew that I had a creative mind, and I knew that I wanted to expand that and use it to my advantage. So I don't think I was 19 years old. I packed my shit. I quit my job. I dropped out of college, and I drove across the country to California. Where I lived for about 4 to 5 years. And I was doing all my modeling shit, and I was actually doing pretty good. And I was working for really, really good people. But at the time, I was so young. I was so naive. I was by myself. Literally didn't have anybody out there. So I definitely struggled. I learned a lot of shit, but just realizing like life is so hard.
Yep.
And just the obstacles I was going through kind of just led me back to here, really. And I don't know how Swade Beauty Bar came about, but that's pretty much that little thing. But yeah.
And we'll get more into that. You know, obviously with the Swade Beauty Bar, I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions about that. But one thing I like that you pointed out is the fact that you felt kind of lost, like coming to Florida, coming from New York, not really knowing what to do, knowing that you wanted to go to school and you wanted to be successful, but just like everyone that's watching right now, and just like a lot of people in this world, sometimes we have trouble finding that passion, or like we have trouble finding that you know, certain thing that you want to stick to, you know, that it.
And with the society, like, and just social media, you know, we want to do better. We see other people doing shit and we're like, oh, I want to do that, but you know, I tried to not focus on that, and I try to really just focus on what I love and my passion. And honestly, at the time, I really didn't know what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to be a creative. I mean, Swade Beauty Bar really came about because I used to design clothes, and that's pretty much where that came about. But I just always knew that I wanted to do something aside from, you know, being a paralegal or working a 9-to-5, or, you know, so that's pretty much what pushed me to get to where I am today. So
and the creativity is a big thing that I'm glad that you carried with everything that you did so far. You know what I mean? As far as you modeling, I know modeling in well, kind of like to talk about that, California. You said 19 years old?
Yeah, I was about 19, 20,
And you went by yourself?
I went by myself.
All right, so
I want to do that, but I don't know,
so what was it that kind of like, what was the last straw of like you being like, all right, I don't want to be here in Florida anymore. Let me go make that move out there.
So actually, my best friend Elijah, he lived in California at the time, and I had always wanted to go to Cali. I wanted to go to school out there and shit, but I just took him being there as a way to go visit Cali. And I remember I went to visit one time, and I ended up staying for like a whole month because I just loved the culture. Just everything was so different about California. Every state you go to, it really is a different vibe, a different culture. And I had never been to the West Coast before, so it was so new to me, and I knew I was so like hungry for a different vibe. You know what I mean? And because my dad was in the Navy, I did move around a lot. I've lived in probably half the states, United States.
Okay, cool.
But I was never on that side of the world, and because I was just so eager to see what I could do with my creativity, I realized that Cali was a different step for me. So I ended up going back again the same year, and I ended up staying again for a month, and I just told myself, like, you know what, in the next 6 months I want to move out here. So I went back here to Florida, and I was actually working at Wing House, and I was in Valencia, and I actually got fired from Wing House because my manager at the time, I don't know if Wing House is just slutty and whatever. So my manager would always flirt with everybody, and I just wasn't that. First of all, he wasn't even cute, but I just wasn't on that. And because I wasn't on that, and I never gave him that attention, on my 90th day, he fired me, because in Florida, on your 90th day, they don't have to give you a reason to fire you. That's like the law in Florida.
That's crazy.
They don't have to give you a reason.
I did not know that.
He literally, mind you, I mean, not to toot my horn, but I'm a very good hard worker no matter what I do. And I was very good at serving and bartending. So literally my 90th day, he put me to office after my shift, actually. And he's like, I'm firing you. I don't need to give you a reason to fire you. That's just what it is. So I went home and I cried about it. And, you know, it was like I think it was June, but I had started saving my money since December, and I had a little Henny bottle, and I was putting all my cash in there. And, you know, I told myself, you know what, maybe this is just a sign for me to take this step. So I broke open the Henny bottle, and I had almost $10,000 in that bitch.
Damn.
It's crazy.
And I told
for all the Henny drinkers out there.
Right, hey, better give me a Henny bottle.
Keep that bottle, put some money in there.
God. And, you know, I had told my parents, like, I think I want to move to Cali, and they're like, yeah. But then once they started really seeing that I was like packing my shit, they kind of got mad at me. They were like, what are you doing? You know, why are you going to leave school? You know, whatever. And I just told them, like, look, guys, I love you and I appreciate you, and I just need to spread my wings. And you know what? If things don't work out, I know I can always come back. I hope I can always come back.
Right.
But, you know, this is just a time in my life where I think I just want to go explore the world. You know, there's so much out there, and I don't want to limit myself, and I don't want to do what you guys want me to do. I'm sorry. You know, I want to make these mistakes and do this shit on my own. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if it does, you feel me? It works out.
It works out.
Yeah.
So I packed my car up with everything I could, and shout out to Casey Nunez. We both drove across the country. Dope. And Elijah actually had a job set up for me once I got there. So
nice.
I moved there. I drove in like 3 days, and I got there and I started doing a marketing job with him. which actually taught me a lot into what I put into Swade Beauty Bar. And that's pretty much how my little journey went. And I got an apartment and, you know, I struggled, but that was pretty much how that went. And I learned so many things, and it just taught me a lot because I was by myself. Even though I had him, you know, I was really by myself. I didn't have much people. I didn't have my family. So I actually learned a lot about myself too, you know, because I was very vulnerable and, you know, just young and not knowing what the hell I was doing.
Of course.
Which I appreciate because it did show me a lot. It taught me a lot. It taught me how to be, you know, independent, grateful for the little things that you have. And it also showed me, like, you know, you got to just go for it. You can't be scared. You know, if you want something, you got to go for it. You know, you always have these hopes and dreams, but you have to make them a reality, whether they work out or not. Not everything is going to work out, you know, and you have to be okay with that. You have to fail to move up and to know that, okay, I failed and this is what I'm gonna do next to change what you feel me? What didn't go right. So I do appreciate my little struggle in California. I struggled a lot, but it was a beautiful, beautiful moment in my life. I found out so much things about myself that I didn't know, and I don't regret it, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Heck yeah. And I was just gonna say that I feel like I know you moving back to Florida was probably like it was more of like, I know probably you didn't want to, but I can just say that the experience that you got from California is probably why you're where you're at right now in Florida, you know?
I actually didn't tell nobody that I moved back for like 2 months because I was so ashamed. And it really was more of just like me worrying about what other people thought, which now I don't give a fuck.
Of course, exactly.
But at the moment I was so disappointed. I felt defeated. I'm like, damn, you know, I went out to Cali to do this. And, you know, even though I did a lot of work, it didn't work out in my favor. And I was very, very discouraged. So when I came back, I was going through it. And,
of course.
You know, but I'm so happy I came back because if I didn't come back, I would not have Swade Beauty Bar. And as much as I love modeling, I love my baby. She's amazing. So.
Yes, exactly.
So
and that's a perfect way to transition into it. Honestly, you know, I would love to keep talking about the modeling and stuff like that, which I'm gonna be honest, that's one thing that I thought you was gonna take you a lot farther. Once you moved to California, I'm gonna be honest, like I thought the sky was the limit, and just because things happen the way it did, that just shows you that everything happens for a reason, though. Because you came back. First of all, I think you could still model to this day. Just know that.
I will one day. You're gonna see me on Vogue.
Exactly. No. Like I don't doubt that one bit.
No,
if anything, I know that that's something that's gonna be in your future.
Facts, yeah.
But the fact that you came back and you carried that experience, you carried the struggle, and the fact that you did things on your own, I think that's one thing that's like stood out to me. Because
I've been saying I want to do that, like literally, well, especially now, because you know everything that I've been going through, whatever. So going through all that, I've been telling myself, yo, I'm gonna go for a year to California because that's where I want to be, and then I'll do the same thing with New York. But I gotta stay for a year because if I try to stay longer than that and I try to come back, I'm not gonna be able to come back. I already know. So I'm gonna be just like the way you are. So
let life take you on that journey.
That's what I think I'm gonna do. Yo.
Don't put anything on a time limit. You feel me? If it takes 2 years, 3 years, you just gotta take it and own it, and you take what you learn in those 3 years, no matter what outcome it comes. You just gotta take it. And these are lessons in life that you feel me, you just got to take and use your knowledge and use that to move forward pretty much.
Yep. So. And now that we talked about how your life was before you did you got into the Swade Beauty Bar, you know, just to kind of, you know, help people understand a little bit, what was it that clicked for you that made you want to stick to this niche? Like, because did you start with waxing, facials? What did you start off with?
So funny story. I was actually having a moment one day and I was literally crying to my dad. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. You know, I wanted to do modeling. It didn't work out. And I'm here serving. I was working at Ale House. And, you know, my dad was just like, you know, you just have to figure it out pretty much. And TMI, but one day I was taking a blackhead out of my dad's face. But I actually grew up with acne. I actually grew up like from middle school till probably my first year in college. I had very bad cystic acne. It just went away. I don't know what the fuck. But you know, so it was always in my head. And then one day that I was taking his blackhead out, he's like, "Why don't you become an esthetician?" And I'm like, okay. And then I remember I was going on an interview to STK, and I saw the girl at the front who was a friend of, or old coworker of mine at Wing House, and she was an esthetician, and she's like, "Hey, I'm an esthetician. I think you'd be great at that. You should do it." So I felt like those two people telling me within that week, it was kind of like a sign. Yeah. So I actually was looking for an esthetician school for almost a year. I kept getting denied. I kept getting, "Oh, we're booked," or "We'll call you back," or all these things. So I don't know what it was. I just kept trying, and then I remember the last time they called me, they're like, "Oh, we can't take you for whatever reason," and I was so pissed. And my stepmom, she's like, "Girl, like, don't give up. Just keep going." And I called one more school, and they're like, "Yeah, you know, we're having a discount. We work on your schedule. You just have to do 500 hours, so you come in whenever you want." And I ended up going, and I loved it. Like in the beginning I wanted to do facials, but as my business grew, I've noticed that I actually do like doing lashes and waxing. I'm not a big facial person anymore.
Okay.
But
That's good to
kind
know.
of, yeah, that's kind of just where that really came about, and it just ended up working. I really can't explain how it worked.
Nah, yeah.
I'm glad it worked. Trust me.
I'm so happy.
Yeah. We got a client over here. I think you mentioned at the
You
beginning.
know,
But
yeah.
Get
Loyalty.
wax, guys, yes.
Get my wax done. All the treatments.
That's pretty much how that came about.
and then and not to interrupt, but did you start from your home? Like, did you?
So yes, I was living with my parents at the time, and I had the whole upstairs to myself. So we have like 3 guest rooms, and I had this idea in my head, and I came downstairs to my parents. I had a whole blueprint. I had a PowerPoint. I had everything written down, like every service, how much it would cost, how much I would, charge. And I spilled it to my parents because I knew I would need to use one of the guest rooms.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they kind of laughed at me. They're like, yeah, that's like, whatever, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, as long as you're okay with people coming in, and I really was just practicing because it did happen in the pandemic. And when I was in school, the pandemic happened. So I was home for a whole month. So we had to stop going to school.
So right now we're in 2020 right now.
So yes, in 2020,
okay.
I was in school, pandemic hit. I couldn't go to school for a whole month. And when I was at home, I just was bored. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So I was just practicing on Sabby, my best friend, and my stepmom. And I think just me doing that, I didn't post it to advertise. I was just posting shit because I just wanted to post it.
Yeah.
People were just like, oh my God, I want a facial. I want to do this. I want to do that. And, I asked my dad, like, do you mind if I get clientele? Like, I promise I'll just bring people that I know, or I'll just bring females. It was just,
Yeah.
And my dad was like, yeah, as long as it's not too much. And I swear, like, from 1 minute to another, like a month or 2, I just ended up having so much people, hit me up. And then I was like, if people are going to come and spend this much money, then I might as well make it look cute.
Yeah.
Because I remember I did my first facial and I charged her like $20 because I was just practicing.
Yeah.
And when I was done, she literally looked at me and she's like, I'm going to pay you $70 because that's how much that facial felt like
Deserves,
it was worth.
exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
And then my second facial, the same thing. And I'm literally like, y'all gassing me. Like, like, come on, guys, I get it. But I think at that point is where I realized, like, you know what? I could really do this shit. Like, $70 for a facial, feel me? It took me an hour. Like, so I think that's really what kind of motivated me to keep pushing. And then because I just have this little creative side of me, I literally decked out my whole loft. And I'm telling you guys, like, from like 2 months, I was just like getting clientele.
Like,
it was too quick. And it ended up being to my dad looking at, actually, you know what? Shout out to my dad and my stepmom because they were literally about to make one of the rooms downstairs. They were like, yeah, let's just build a wall and let's just, so you have more privacy. Hold on, there's something in my eye.
No, you good.
But I ended up having like 30 fucking clients, and my dad was like, I love you, but there's too much people in my house. And I was literally waxing people upstairs in my loft where there's no door. I got my little brother downstairs. I'm over here waxing everybody's vagina. And, my dad was like, look, I love you, but you gotta go. So I remember that day I literally cried. I almost moved back to California. I swear to God, I was like, he's so mean. Why is he doing this? But he actually pushed me to get my little warehouse that I got with Casey Heavenly. Shout out to you, sis.
Shout out to Casey.
And my dad's assistant is like a video guy, and he was like, hey, do you mind if I vlog you moving to your thing? And I'm like, sure, like whatever. And that vlog just blew up. Like I really didn't even mean, I was just being myself, and he was just recording every little thing, and it really wasn't that serious to me in the beginning, but that vlog really is what got me all my clientele, because it just went like, not viral, but it was just everywhere. And that's right. And that's kind of where I really built my clientele, because then when I was at that warehouse, I was booked, feel me? Like I was just having all these things. And then I realized I had a client, Leanna, I love you, my assistant now. She came to me for a month and she got every single service that I had. And then there was one day I looked at her, I'm like, what you want? I'm like, you come in here a little too much, sis. Like, what do you want? And she's like, honestly, I just look up to you. I've been following you. She's like, I love what you do and I just want to help. She's like, I just have this creative side of me and I just want to help you. And I want to be your assistant. And I'm like, I am 2 months in, girl. Like, I can't afford that. And I'm like, but if we could figure out a trade, then by all means. And honestly, I am so grateful. She's still my assistant till this day. So grateful for her because she is really who helped pushed me. She would come with her little notebook every day, like, get up, sis, we got to do this, we got to do that. And with her help, you know, I was able to make all my little services and do it the way that I do and be cute with it and, you know, make my spa all cute and pink. And I don't know, guys. It just blew up and
crazy.
I'm so grateful for it because now I am in my 3rd location and I have over 120 clients a month. And it's Rosie.
I will not let that go.
and there's more coming.
Yeah, there's more coming. I got 2 more coming next week for
literally.
you.
Shout out to you, sis. She got a little referral discount. And I actually have so many more ideas, and I know that I'm gonna move up. Like it's all in my brain.
Oh, for sure.
So
it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. And
I know the other day you gave me a little tease of what it is that you're trying to do, and I'm like, girl, I can't wait. I already told you, I can't wait.
Excited, so.
And we'll get more into that too.
Yes,
I'll tell you about that. But I mean, just alone. I mean, there's a lot I have to say. You spit a lot of gems there without you even noticing. Because like one thing that you pointed out in the beginning was when you came back to Florida, you were discouraged. But you flipped that into like, all right, so let me take this hunger that I got, because you still were hungry. It's just that you just didn't know what to do, but you were hungry still, because you literally just came fresh out of California.
Exactly.
Then you came up with the idea, because obviously like you were practicing. Practice makes perfect. That goes for everybody out there that just feels like you can't be good at something right away. You know what I mean? Practice makes perfect. And then you said that you brought the idea up to your parents and they laughed. And a lot of people, you gotta understand that like. And I'm pretty sure they didn't laugh out loud, like you said. They laughed, but it just shows that like for you to not take that personal, one, because a lot of people get discouraged off of that. Be like, yo, how come you don't believe in me? Then they start not believing in themselves, and then bomb. Now it's like, all right, let me do something else now. Off of that little laugh, off of that little interaction that you had with your parents that should be supporting you. So
that was a big thing.
So you flip that though. You flip that negative into a positive quick, because you believed in yourself more than they believed in you.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
And that goes to show, even with me moving to Cali, like they did not, they always knew like, you want to be a model, but they, they're old school. Parents are old school, and I'm not mad at them. They just wanted me to go to college and be a lawyer and do all that shit. But they always did know that I was very spontaneous, and they always knew that. And that's why I love them to this day. They let me be me. They see me, my crazy pink hair and all my tattoos, and they love me because they know generally I'm a good person, and I know they know that I want good for myself in whatever way I'm gonna get it. And they said sorry for the laugh, but they literally laughed. They're like, nobody's gonna come to you. Nobody's gonna pay $80, for a facial. Nobody's gonna. And I'm like, Daddy, like you gotta, And I was like, I'm gonna prove you guys wrong. And he was like, okay, prove us wrong. And I like that because. My parents, don't get me wrong, they're very, very supportive, but they are hard on me, and I do appreciate that because they made me very, very independent. Like, my dad is very, very well off now, and he does not give me a dime. And I'd be like, can you just pay my rent, please? Just one day. And he doesn't, and as much as it kind of sucks, I actually appreciate it because I don't ask nobody for help. I do everything on my own. I don't expect any handouts, and anything that I do get, I genuinely am happy because I know how hard I really, really worked for it, and I know that I deserve it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like I said, they definitely said sorry when they started. They were like, okay, my fault, like you got it. But yeah, I appreciate them like kind of doubting me because I'm like, okay, it's all good. Like I'm gonna prove y'all wrong. Y'all gonna see what's up. And I did, and they are so supportive now. They literally like, they're just amazing, and I love them. So I like that little push from my dad. He's a Navy guy, so he's very like, tough love, whatever, by the books. And
we love military
but he's
families.
Oh no, girl. But I look up to my dad because he is just very realistic, and he's so, even when I was doing my modeling, he flew out to Cali and would come to my shows.
That's crazy.
Little things like that. Yeah, literally crying in the freaking audience. And
no, shout out to Dad, because if not, we wouldn't be here right now.
Shout out to my daddy. Love
man, big shout out. We're gonna have a conversation too after this too, man. But it's good to get that. It's that balance of support. You know what I mean? Because I feel like some people sometimes they baby their kids too much, and not only baby, but they spoil them. They give them everything.
All that hope.
They don't give them no type of like urge to work for it. You know what I mean? And that's why like it's a blessing in disguise that that your dad kicked you out of the house, because like you said, at first you took that as like, wow, like why are you doing this to me?
Sad.
And then because of that hunger that you still had, you linked up with KC, and like that just shows you that like first you got to be able to receive help, right? Because Leanna, shout out to Leanna too, like the fact that she literally was like, I want to be your assistant, you know what I mean? And like some people sometimes be like, I'd rather do things on my own because I like it done my way. But I had to learn with this podcast that you can't do everything on your own sometimes.
The most successful people do have a team.
Co-host.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Hello. The most successful people do have a team, and I did realize that because at some point I ain't gonna lie, like I was very selfish with it. You know, I was like, I want to do this on my own. I want to say that I did this all on my own. But you know what? I am doing it on my own, and just because I have another brain to help. You know what I mean? That's okay. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows I did this shit. It doesn't matter. But you know what? Like, I could say, yes, I had help from this and that. And that's why I could cater to so much people. Because it's not just a one-minded thing, you know? Because there's so many different people. People have different mindsets. People think differently. People want different things. And I can't just do things because of the way I think about it. I have to be open to other people's opinions, other people's criticism. I love when people criticize shit. I mean, honestly, I don't get much criticism. But when I do get those little things, it's like, okay, because that makes me want to work harder. It makes me think differently. It makes me think in different directions. Because if not, if I was just like me, I'm just gonna do shit my way, not everybody's gonna want to come to me because you know I can't cater to everybody's needs.
Exactly.
But if I have different mindsets and different ideas, then I could be open to different things and I could cater to a lot more people. Which has helped me a lot. So yeah, shout out to all my peoples.
And she gave you a different perspective to look at things. And on top of that, she gave you that urge because you told me that she was telling you like, all right, come on, like get up.
Still to this day, she be blowing my. It's like, bitch, I'm coming. Get up.
But that's what we need sometimes. You know what I mean? We all need that sometimes.
And sometimes I do get fucking lazy. You know what I mean? And I do, you know, suffer with mental illness sometimes. So she is very, very supportive, and she is always there for me, and she's always pushing me, and I definitely do need that push sometimes. Everybody needs a little push sometimes. You know what I mean? Because you know, sometimes you start doubting yourself. You know, life happens and things. You have your personal life and shit, and sometimes you start doubting yourself. And you know, I have those moments, and I'm so grateful that I have a friend, an assistant, my parents to tell me like, look, it's okay if you fail. It's okay if things don't work out your way. Like, life is not perfect. You're not gonna, and not everything is gonna work out the way you want it. And you have to be okay with that. The moment you're not okay with that, that's when you start, you know, denying yourself or not having faith, and you want to stop, and you start doing other shit. Like, no, you have to be okay with you failing, and just you got to pick it up and keep it pushing. You cry for a day, the next day get up, tighten up.
Because nothing's gonna fix itself, you know what I mean? And that's one thing I had to learn too, like with that little break that I took from the podcast. Like I noticed like I'm mentally getting myself together, but how am I gonna feel better about myself if I'm not doing things to progress? You know what I mean? And that's when I literally just woke up one day. I was like, all right, let's get back to work. You know what I mean? Let's get back to work.
It's okay to take a break. You know what I mean? It's definitely okay, but you have to remember, like, the longer you take, the harder
it's gonna get to get back.
The more you're losing out. And you know, people are eager to see things. You know, we're in a world where social media is huge, and they just we're looking at TikTok all day. We're just watching people. You know, and even with you, when you started, like, I was like, damn, okay, and I noticed when you stopped. And I was like, okay, I wonder where he's at. But you know, life happens. But it's good to have somebody to push, and you have to also remember, like, not everything comes easy, and nothing's gonna come if you're not doing.
If you're not putting the work,
you gotta put in the work. You feel me? Everybody who's successful. I mean, there are those few people that just got lucky, but that's not everybody.
I don't want no handouts.
You don't want no handout, exactly, because when you do get there, you're not gonna appreciate it as much. I know when I will be a millionaire. Just know that. I know when I do get there, I'm gonna appreciate that shit so much because I know that it came from all my hard work and sweat and tears, and you know, I will be more humble about it.
For sure.
And especially because I came from the hood, and I came from a very, very poor background. I didn't have shit growing up at all. And you know, now that I'm seeing a little bit of it, it's like, it's very humbling, and feels good.
As you should. And another thing you said too, that because we all love to receive compliments and stuff, right? Like, we always it makes us feel good about ourselves, and sometimes like we even try to like brush it off to not to get big headed and stuff. But it's good to not only receive compliments and embrace them, but it's also good to receive criticism, like you said.
I like that.
You know, because some people get they take things personal, or they just, you know, make it bigger than what it needs to be. When in reality, the criticism is to help you. You know, and a lot of people some people. Like, for example, like sometimes I used to do this back in the day. I used to get bad haircuts and not say shit to the barber. And I used to be like, I used to tell them, and I literally would pretend. I'd be like, they'll show me with the mirrors. I'll be like, yeah, like straight. And I'll literally go home and be like, yo, bro, I'm never doing that again. then now, like, if I even, thankfully I don't get back haircuts, I go to the same guy. But if I ever do, best believe I'm saying something around the spot, because it's like that's gonna help him not do that shit again. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you gotta be able to take criticism just as much as you take compliments. You know?
I love that you say that, because even to this day, I mean, I know that my work is good and I know my lashes last and all that extra shit, but I always tell my client, the last thing that I tell them when they leave, if there's anything wrong, if you feel any type of way, please text me, please call me. You feel me? Because I don't, if you don't like it, just let me know. We could fix it.
Yeah.
And that was one of my biggest things starting off. I gave so many free lashes and so many free facials and so many free waxes, because I knew, at least for me, they might have been like, oh, thank you, no, it's perfect. But I knew, like, that's not the work that I want to give out. I'm not satisfied with that. So I'm okay with spending this time and doing it for free and redoing it for you to make it right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you are spending your money on me. You are spending your time. And I have to be grateful for that, because like right now, my spa is the only job I have, and it's paying all my fucking bills. And I have to appreciate my clients. And if one day they don't like it, I have to be okay with, you know, them telling me that. I ain't gonna sit here and be mad like, no, bitch. No, like, okay, you don't like it, so what can I do to fix it?
Yeah.
Because I want you to be happy, because at the end of the day, it's all word of mouth. You know, I genuinely do love my clients. As much as, yes, the money is great, I really do it because I love what I do, and I love my clients. And you see the conversations we have, you know, and I'm like that with all my clients. Like, they come and they vent and they cry and they tell me the craziest things that I wouldn't even expect them to. And sometimes I go home and I'm like, damn, like, the fact that my clients even trust me with certain things,
really.
or they're able to open up like that. And, you know, I want that, you know, trust, and I want them to be able to, you know, because you're right. Some people are like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And they leave. And then they go home and they're telling everybody else, like, oh.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah,
you don't want that. You don't want that.
And, you know, I know I'm not going to satisfy every single person. I know I'm not for everybody. That's okay. But I know that I try my best. And I know that if my client is not satisfied, I do my best to satisfy them.
Yep.
Even if at the end they still not satisfied, at least they could say, you know, she tried. You know, she's good. She's a great worker. You know, her customer service is top 10. Maybe I didn't like what she did, but no one could ever say that I was mean or I was rude or I didn't give a fuck, because I do. You know what I mean? Because that's how I want to be treated. You know what I mean? Like, I'm spending money on you. You feel me? So.
And I'm glad you take that prideful. You know what I mean? Because it's like, first of all, it's a personal brand thing. I think I learned that a lot from this job that we worked at called Wyndham, and it's more about how you represent yourself and how much you care. Like you said, how much you care about your clients, because that's gonna take you the longest way ever. Like being able to actually care about what you do. That's why when I started this podcast, a lot of people, I think my dad specifically, and just other people were telling me like, yo, like, you spending a lot of money on this podcast machine, on the mics. Like, yo, you should. I mean, like, pretty much like, yo, you could be spending money on more important things. And I'm just like, Dad, like, I'm going to take this super serious to the point where, like, I want the best equipment. I want the best. I want be able to give my guests the best experience. I don't want nobody to think that this is just something that I'm just
playing around.
Exactly. I got the best equipment that I could get. I spent as much money as I could. Like, well, of course you got to save a little bit, but but yeah, and just, you know, taking your work serious takes you a long way. Because like one thing with me is that I'm such a perfectionist that, like, that's why I take so long with these episodes, editing and stuff, because I'm like, yo, I just wanted to come out perfect.
Yeah. But that's a good quality. You know what I mean? Because you're not just half-assing shit. You're not just throwing shit out there just to throw it out, just to say that you do a podcast. Like, no, this is what you love. You generally love to do this, and that's a great thing that you are a perfectionist. It may not come out as perfect as you want it to always be. Excuse me. But, you know, people are going to notice that you put in that work. And even if it does take a month, when that podcast comes out, they're like, that was a fire-ass podcast. That shit was edited perfectly. The sound, everything. You know what I mean? It's good. I used every single dollar from my unemployment during the pandemic. And as much as all my friends was out and partying and traveling, and I wanted to, but I was like, first of all, I'm getting this free money, which I don't even need it. I really didn't even apply for unemployment. So I noticed all my coworkers was on unemployment and they were still working. I'm like, wait a minute. So, you know, I literally took every fucking dollar. I think I only spent like $100 on myself, and I put every dollar into my spa. And I appreciate it now, because, you know, at the moment I'm like, fuck, this is a lot of money. But, you know, I knew I wanted quality work, and I knew that I wanted to invest in myself. That is a huge thing. You need to invest in yourself. You know? It ain't gonna come for free.
It ain't.
And that's very important, that a lot of people don't realize. Like, you have to invest in yourself. You can't try the cheap way out, or the, you know what I mean? Like, you can't half-ass shit. You half-ass shit, your shit gonna be half-ass.
Exactly. You're gonna get half the results that you could potentially get. So but yeah, I mean, Rosie, did you want to add on to anything like that? Because pretty much what I'm going to transition to now is, you don't have to go in depth with this, but I remember when we first back in 2020 when you first, wanted to take it a lot more serious, you bought the warehouse, you made that video for it. And I remember, because you sent us the video in the group chat, and then you were like, "Hi guys, how does this look?" Like,
kind of corny.
Anyway, no, but that's the thing though. Like, at that time, maybe it possibly could have been a little corny to us. You feel me? Because we were just seeing you grow. It was like your foundation.
Right.
But looking back, I'm like, yo, you did that necessary step to put yourself out there.
Let me tell
And
you
like
something.
you were just yourself, like you said. It didn't take that much work. You feel me?
Let me tell you something. I had so many people after that little vlog like, yo, you are meant to be in front of the camera. I'm waiting for your next vlog. I want you to do this. And I'm just there like, I don't I'm like, I was literally like just being stupid, and I had so many people, so I was like, okay, like maybe I can do this.
Yeah,
maybe,
I fucked with the vibe.
I
It was
like,
a funny video.
It was funny. It was stupid. That's why for my little lash class, I was over here doing a crip walk and shit. But that is another thing, because like I said, social media is so huge, and that shit was going everywhere, and people were seeing it, and people were coming to me like, oh yeah, I did see your video. Like I came here because I saw your video on this and that, and even though to me I felt like I was so cringy, I knew that was one of the things I need to do to get myself out there, and it worked.
And
Like,
it
to be
worked.
yourself,
It worked.
And it worked. And that's how I pointed it out, because sometimes we do things, and again, the perfectionist out of me and all this other stuff is like, you think too much about what people would look or say about you. But it's like, yo, when you're doing something that not only is for your business but is for yourself, it doesn't matter what people say or do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
at
exactly.
all. And that's just for people watching out there, like, pretty much stop worrying about what people think of you, or stop worrying about what people are gonna say, because like at the end of the day is you, everybody's on their own. So if you're gonna worry about that,
you always.
If they're talking about you, you're doing something right, whether it's bad or whether it's good. You feel me? You're being talked about, and obviously you want it to be more good. But I had to, because I mean, even though when you know me, I'm myself, but I'm really shy in front of the camera. Like I be getting nervous and shit. But I had to do that, and when I saw the results, I'm like, okay, like I need to just get over it. You know what I mean? Like first of all, I took so many takes. Like, you don't even understand. The bloopers of that shit was wild. But, I realized that was something that I had to just get over, and, because it was going to help my business.
And it used to take us a lot of takes to, it used to take me a lot of takes to, like, in the beginning when I did the intro episode, I remember, like, I couldn't even get past the intro. I was like, yo, what podcast for the people? I think I remember one time I said,
I think we recorded it like for a good hour.
Oh
like,
my God,
he
it
was
was
up in my
bad.
living room for
It was bad. And I think I kept saying, I even messed up the name. And I was just like, what am I doing? I can't even get past the intro.
Literally.
But that all paid off, because now look at me, like now with the intro.
Booming, baby. Hello.
Like, anyway, welcome to Podcast for the People.
Podcast for the people.
Tuned in, like and subscribe. You know what I mean? It's trial and error. You know what I mean? All right. So now I want to definitely ask you, because, there's a lot of people out there that are doing their own, businesses at home. You know what I mean? Whether it's nails, whether it's lash extensions, whether it's barber, anything really at this point. Yeah. And it's a good thing. I mean, one thing I admire is people that don't let the space stop them. Like they just make it happen in the garage, some shit. Like, you know what I mean? They make it happen anywhere, which is really admirable. But a lot of people don't know how to get to that next step, and don't know what it will take to, to get their own beauty bar, or to get their own barbershop, or things like that. Right. So for people out there that's kind of wondering what it takes, you don't have to go too much in depth, but from the moment that you knew that, from the moment that your dad kicked you out, what were the steps that you took to actually like, all right, this is what I got to do? Well, I know some things you had to learn, but.
So yeah, I'm actually still learning. Like I literally, because I didn't go to school or even had any job with business. This is still till this day, I'm still learning a lot of things, and I still have questions. But what I've noticed is, one, if you do have a business, the location really does not matter. Because people are going to come to you for you. They're going to come to you for your work. Yep. Right now, local businesses are booming, and people should definitely take advantage. You should definitely protect yourself. What you were saying about the LLC, that was something my dad put me on to. Pretty much the LLC is just protecting you for anybody who's going to sue you, because if they do sue you for whatever reason, they can only take your business. They can't take like your assets, your house, your car, things like that. Hopefully nobody sues you. But that was one of the first things that I got. Honestly, an LLC is like $150 for the year. It's not that serious. You get it to protect yourself. Yeah. And just be creative, be yourself, be different, and, just put in that work and just know what you want, and it's going to come to you, really. And honestly, if you're doing a good job, nobody's going to sue you. Nobody's going to, do all that shit. But definitely be organized. I just made an Excel sheet for my
I like that. I like
because
that.
I'm so weird when it comes to like technology. Like every dollar that I've made and spent, I have it written in a book, which is horrible. You can't do that. That's not a good thing. Yeah, that's literally me. But have an Excel sheet, because when you do have your own business, you don't get taxes, you got to pay taxes. And, you know, depending on what you put into your business is what you'll have to pay. And that's huge, because you don't want to get tax fraud. So just be really organized, you know, write everything down or put it in a, you know, Excel sheet, or, you know, have it there for proof, because America's just weird and they just, you know, want to know everything you're fucking doing. But yeah, just be organized, you know, write things down, because in the future, when you need it, it's going to be there. Protect yourself, protect your brand. You know, do things that are not gonna ruin your brand. And, you know, like I said, that comes with, you know, you being nice to your clients, because there's always gonna be that one person, that one little Karen that's gonna come and try to violate. And, you know, you have to be able to protect yourself. And, you know, because if you are booming and your business is doing good, you don't want to get really, really far and then it all comes crashing down, or you need some type of thing and you haven't been recording shit, you haven't been writing it down, or you know, need to know something, like I don't even remember. So just, you know, make sure you have everything recorded. Get your LLC. Hire your employees if you need to, which I'm in the works of training some people right now. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
I bet. And then I know you mentioned about finding the warehouse, so I know you said Casey Heavenly helped you with that.
Yeah, so actually Henny, love you Henny,
shout out to Henny.
I don't know how we were on the phone, but I'm literally on the phone like, bitch, I'm fucking about to leave. And she's like, no, like I think, you know, her name is Natasha. She's like, I think she you know, she just opened a warehouse, and I think she has some rooms for rent. And it was literally the same day my dad kicked me out, and I called her and I'm like, I heard you have, you know, something for rent. And she's like, it's not even ready yet, but if you want to come in. I'm like, bitch, I got the money right now. Like, so I went in, and literally the floors weren't even done, and I was just like, look, it's in my price range, I want it, I'll help you finish the floors, sis, like, let's go. And, you know, she was just like, give me a few days and, you know, we'll make it happen. And I remember it was a Thursday, and I think I like cancel my clients for the weekend, or I pushed them back or something, but I gave myself until that Sunday. So from that Thursday to that Sunday, I moved everything into that spa. I painted, I put everything in there, and it came out beautiful. And then by that Monday, I was already taking clients.
Crazy.
And it was and I don't know why I have this thing where like I want to do everything myself, in a sense. Like every apartment that I've ever moved in, I've did it myself. So that time I literally moved everything myself. I had AJ, my video guy, he helped me with the big things, but I painted myself and I put everything around. And, you know, I went to IKEA with my stepmom and I just bought all these random things. And, you know, I just wanted to make it comfortable, because it's a spa, you know, you want to go in a spa and feel zen and feel comfortable. And I just kind of just went off my knowledge and just wanted to make it a place where people could come and let loose and just forget about all the things that we go through in the daily life, and just come and get beautiful. Like that's really my slogan, is to empower the mind and the skin. Because, you know, when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you know, you could do so much. Because I know when I don't feel good, I feel like the world is gonna end. I want to fucking die. But when I feel good and when I look good, you know, I feel like I could conquer the world, and that's something really big. And, you know, I want to empower women, and I know, you know, being a woman, even a man too, but I don't know that perspective, but I know being a woman, it's really hard nowadays. You know, we worry about our hair and our face and our body, and, you know, we want to look cute for all these men and things. And, you know, it's important to love yourself and to make yourself feel beautiful before yourself. You know what I mean? And I grew up, because I said I had acne, so I grew up already doing facials and things like that. So I already kind of had like an idea. Like I knew every time I leave that spa, I'm like, damn, I feel kind of good. And I just wanted to empower women in that sense and make them, you know, even if it was just for that hour that they're in my spa, I wanted them to know, like, you a bad bitch. And you look good no matter what nobody say, like, you know. And that was really my biggest thing. I wanted to really let women know that, you know, you could make yourself feel good, and you could do so much when you're happy. You know what I mean? Because we live in this world where everybody deals with depression and all this extra shit, and mental health is a real thing. And, you know, even if it's those little things, like I know when I'm feeling really down, I go get massages. And even though it temporarily relieves my stress, even if it's just for that hour, I feel so good. You know what I mean? And sometimes you need that hour or two, you know what I mean, to feel good. And that's just important. You know, happiness is hard in the life that we live in now. And, you know, any way I'm going to I could get it, I'm gonna go get it.
Yep.
Whether it's getting my lashes done, whether it's doing my hair, whether it's getting a facial, whether it's getting a wax for your man. You feel me? Like all those little things I took into consideration because that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share that with women and let them know, like, you know, these little things you could do to make you feel good and feel happy, and it's working.
I love it.
So
I love it, and that's how I know that you're gonna make it farther than where you are right now. Like, there's no doubt in my mind because
truly.
because you put more consideration into your clients than into yourself sometimes, and I think that's what the key thing is.
They know I be up at 7 in doing. I'm like, girl, you need your lashes on at 7 in, but you know it's important, and I just want them to feel good, and they do feel good, and they tell me how good they feel, and that is really what motivates me a lot. Like I have girls that text me just randomly, like, yo, just know I love you, and you motivate me, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate our little conversation, and I appreciate you letting me cry and vent, and you know, I come to you just because I have kids, and I just want to get away for 2 hours, and you know, little things like that is like, damn, like y'all really spend the little moment y'all have, the little time you guys have away from, you know, your responsibilities. You come to me, like, damn, that's crazy, and that's really what keeps me going, because I'm just like, damn, like I do touch people, and I do, you know, help people, and even if it's just a little bit or for that hour, like I know that I, you know, could touch people's hearts, and it's a great feeling. It really is. And aside from the money, aside from anything else, just the fact that I could make another woman feel empowered and feel beautiful and feel good, that makes me feel good. Yeah. Because that's like, I have a purpose in this life. Like I didn't come here just to make money or just, you know, to do that shit. Like I'm really, you know, getting to people, and they love me and I love them. So it's great.
And if anybody deserves to feel empowered nowadays, it's definitely women. You know, I think it's always been. I feel like it's always been like that. I'm just glad that there's being more light shed on that, because it's crazy how a lot of men feel entitled to a lot of, like, you know, a lot of things, man. And sometimes like they try to make women feel like, oh, you need to get your nails done and feel good about yourself, or you need to get to wax or anything like that. When the reality is like, yo, let a woman feel good. However she has to feel good. You know what I mean? Like stop judging these people. Stop saying, oh, you put too much makeup, all this extra stuff that men like to say to women that like just tries to diminish them when they're already going through mad self-love. You know what I mean? So it's just, that's why I'm gonna do another woman empowerment episode. I'm gonna get more into that, because I think a lot more light needs to be shed on that.
I had a client one time tell me that her man or whatever was mad because she didn't have too much money, and the little money she had, she was coming to me. And she's like, you know, even if this is my last dollar, like I want to spend it on this because this is what makes me happy.
Exactly.
Even if I know that, you know, this is not what I should be spending on, this makes me so happy. Even if it's just for the week or two that I have my lashes, like this is what makes me happy. So if I have to spend my last dollar on you, I'm gonna do it. And I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that, because some people are gonna be like, oh, you know, you only have $100. Why are you gonna go do that? Why are you gonna do that? But you can have $100 in your bank account and then just be miserable all week because you're trying to save it. Or you could just go and get your little facial, your little massage, and now you feel good. Yeah, you're a little broke, but I feel good. I don't care if I only got $1. I'm gonna make that shit back next week or whatever.
And money is not the root of your happiness.
Exactly.
You know what? I learned that in California.
People said that a lot about it when it came to my hair, because, you know, I had like a lot of fantasy colors for a while, and people were like, why are you spending so much money? But I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, like, this is my personality. Like, this is me. Like, right now, like, it being like that rose gold ashy color that's going on, it's not me. But I still fuck with it because because like my hairstylist made me feel good about it. But like, when I went through a phase where like I think it was like I lost my blue or I lost my pink, and like I was like depressed like for a good month, and like I told my ex, and like I don't think that anybody really understood it until I got my color back. When I got my color back, I was like, yo, that's it, like it's a wrap. Y'all done for, like that's it. And I think it's crazy that it's crazy that we really have those things that like that and
there's nothing wrong with that. That's the key thing to point out. Is there's nothing wrong with that. It's whatever makes you feel good. That's why guys get haircut. That's why like there's so much. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say one last thing about this. I remember one time. This is kind of recent, because you know my Instagram is a little whatever. And I remember my dad, because my dad, he follows me, and I remember he texted me one time, and he's like, "You need to stop posting, you know, yourself in bikinis and all these things, because you know you have a business now, and you know some clientels are gonna see that, and they're not gonna want to come to you." And I was like, you know, it kind of made me upset. I'm like, you know what, Dad, like I love you and I appreciate your criticism, but I will say I am where I'm at right now because I'm myself.
Exactly.
And if anybody doesn't want to come to me because my hair is pink or because I posted a fucking picture on the beach, then I don't need their money. You know what I mean? Like I don't need the clientele that want me because I'm a perfect little esthetician. No, I want the people to come to me because of me, and you know, and I don't want to. I'm not ever gonna change for nobody. You know what I mean? Whether y'all like me or not, I know I'm fucking weird, but you know, it makes me happy. Me and my crazy pink hair, my blue hair, and all that shit. Like I know it's a little weird. People look at me crazy, like I'm the crazy pink. Like, I always got pink on, but I love myself, and people love me for that, and I will never change, and nobody should ever change for nobody.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy, you do it. You feel me? Even if it's weird, even if it's odd, like do it, because like I said, you're gonna stand out, and that's good.
Exactly. It's always good to stand out, whether it's good or bad, like you said.
Yeah.
Well, if you're talking about me, then I'm doing my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it.
Look.
And just to kind of, you know, finish things off, like, I was gonna ask you to give some advice to the audience watching, but I feel like this whole episode has been just good gems, advice without us trying. So I think the best way to kind of, you know, segue to the end of it is what's next. Like, you know, I know you mentioned something earlier with Rosie that you got something planned.
Those are through our appointments only. Okay,
Yeah.
that's too.
I gotta set up an appointment and find out what's next.
Yes. So I won't say too much because I don't like to jinx it. But I actually am building Swade. So Swade is my main brand. I used to have Swade shop. I used to design. That's kind of how Swade came about, because I wanted to make Swade clothing, and I didn't want to spell it the normal Swade. So that's how Swade really came about. But as much as I love what I do, I'm tired. My back hurts. And I have so many ideas, and I have so much things that I want to do in life that as of right now, I can't do it because I do work 12-hour days. I do work 6 days a week. And, you know, I want to build, and I want to build Swade as an empire. So my next step is I am building a Swade Suites, and hopefully I will be able to hire people. I'm training some people right now to help me, because I can't do this all on my own. I can't take any more clients right now. I'm freaking booked. So that is my next step. But once that happens, because I did notice that I am more of a businesswoman. I love what I do. I love my clients, and I'm sorry, guys. One day I will be gone. But I want to still give my, you know, I want to leave Swade, and I want to leave a mark. I do want a couple Swade Beauty Bars, so I am planning on having one in Vegas and in California. I've even been thinking about Atlanta soon.
Nice.
So I'm gonna keep my Swade Beauty Bar here because, you know, I want my clientele to still be able to come get their shit done. But I am hiring people to come and help me. I'm gonna also hire like hairstylists and nail techs, because I don't do that stuff. But I want people to be able to come into Swade Beauty Bar and book a whole day and get their hair, their nails, their facial, their wax all done, and go about their business.
You know how good that?
Hold on, they don't have
the traffic. Change the game.
The traffic in Orlando is wild.
No, about to change the game for real.
Hello. I want people to come and get all their things done and keep it pushing. So that's kind of where my mind is at right now. That's kind of my next step. I'm working on it right now. Obviously, it takes time, it takes money, but those are my next steps. And eventually, we will have Swade Beauty Bar LA, Swade Beauty Bar Vegas, Swade Beauty Bar New York City, and then
you heard it here first.
Right.
And then I also want to do the modeling again. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that was such a beautiful time in my life, and the adrenaline that I get on that stage is very, very different.
Addicting,
it's so
probably
beautiful.
Too.
The fact that it didn't really work out in California, I'm okay with it. That was a part of my life that, you know, I learned a lot, and it just didn't work out at that time. But I'm so passionate about it that I know I could do it again. So I do want to do that again in the future, but obviously I need the time and I need the money because it is a lot. And all the agencies that I was going to in California was always telling me, like, you have a different look, you need to go to New York. LA is not for you. And that was one of the reasons why I left LA too. Because LA is more print. It's more like, you know, Abercrombie, whatever. I like to do runway modeling, which is a little bit different, high-end fashion, all that shit. So when I do have the time for that, I will be doing that. So,
I love it.
So we're going back to New York. Got it. Understood.
Maybe. It depends. We'll see.
With time, with patience, and just keep that same hunger, yo.
Yes, I always, now that I have my Swade Beauty Bar and I know that I can do it, I am even more hungry, and I don't doubt myself as much anymore, because it's like, if I could do this shit within a year and a half, it's literally only been a year and a half.
It's crazy to me that, because I feel like you've been doing this for mad long. I just started going to you in January, but I felt like she was doing this for mad long. I'm not even gonna lie.
June 6th, I had my June 6th, 2 years ago, I had my first client.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Literally.
Crazy. So you about to reach your 2-year anniversary.
I'm
pretty
about
much.
to. Yep.
That's
we gotta
wild.
celebrate, guys.
Okay.
Heck yeah. This is a celebration right here. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I have so many ideas, and I hope everybody sticks around for it, because I am not done, guys. I have all this extra shit for you guys, and I know you guys are gonna love it. And I'm just happy that I have the clientele and just the audience and just the friends and family that support me and, you know, hold it down and just root for me and, you know, remind me that I got it going on. And you feel me? I got something going good, and, you know, I'm talented, and I just have to take advantage.
Yep.
Because, you know, life is so short. You never know when it's going to be your last day. And I want to just live, even if, God forbid, I die tomorrow, like, I'm going to be happy because I know that I fulfilled everything. I tried. You feel me? I tried. And I did everything that made me happy. I didn't do what other people wanted me to do. I didn't do buy the books. Like, you know, I didn't do none of that shit. I literally went for it. I was spontaneous my whole life. You know, I took chances, which is a huge thing. So I like take chances. Do not
always
be scared.
take chances on yourself.
Yeah,
if you're gonna take chances on anything, is yourself. Might as well be
You
yourself.
have to do it, and it's okay to fail because you're gonna learn from those mistakes, and you're gonna use it to your advantage and use it for the next project that you have. So don't be scared to, you know, take chances. Don't be scared to fail. Don't be scared of, you know, criticism. You have to take all that shit in and just use it, you know, because there's millionaires out there. If they could do it, we could do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really how I see it. So so yeah, I have a lot going on, and hopefully you guys are here to stick around. So, and
I'm excited for you. And just like the beginning of the episode, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
truly, man. I'm really proud of you, and I'm so happy that you're in my life because honestly, like, not for nothing, I always think back, like, before, like, when Julie was recommending me to go, and I was like, damn, I don't think Swade likes me, though. Like, in high school, I feel like she didn't like me. And it's so crazy because Swade is so nice compared to me. She's so sweet. Like, compared to me, like, I thought I was nice, but damn, Swade is nice as fuck. Like,
in high school, I was fresh out of New York, so I thought I was, you know, I had a little attitude, but I honestly, like, obviously you get me that I'm you know, but I think I am really
nah,
nice. Like,
you are.
I be a little too nice sometimes. But
nah, you are, because you dead as you hooked it up even this last Tuesday, like, just coming out of your way, you know, you had to deal with what you had to deal with, and you still made the time for me, knowing that because my birthday's coming up, you took care of me, like,
which is crazy
because
when you told me what you was going through, and you told me, I remember you telling me, like, oh, I'm still gonna see Rosie, and I was like, wait, how? And you still made that happen for her? That's what's up, man.
That's what I'm saying, like,
and it was because I'm like, I'm not gonna, you know, because I don't know, it's just that's how much I love my clients. Like,
and that's
I really
what I'm saying,
go out of my way. Obviously, if I can't do it, I can't do it, but I told myself, like, you know what, I'm not gonna go into work today, I'm not feeling it, but Rosie got a birthday coming up, so so I'm gonna take my ass to work real quick. It's a quick little hour. Even if I have to cry in front of her, it's okay. Like, you know, because I just I don't know, but I love you, baby.
But I love you. Thank you
Course,
truly, for real. I appreciate you.
And that's a good way to end it off, man. Like, honestly, like, I'm just glad that you're always yourself, and that's just gonna help people watching out there to just be yourself. You know what I mean? That'll take you far, a lot farther than trying to be like anybody else. You know. But
what I will say is I'm very proud of you guys, honestly. This is a huge step, and this is something that a lot of people do, and it's good to have a little platform to be able to talk about things. And I appreciate you guys for even having this, because there are a lot of people out there that have a little journey, or they have a story, and, you know, they don't know where to, you know, let it out or whatever, and you guys are really opening a lot of doors for people, and it's good that you guys are interested in other people's, you know, lives as much as everybody else is that are watching and listening, you know. So the fact that you guys are doing this and you guys are so passionate about it, like, I love it, and I'm always going to support, and I'm very, very proud of you guys, and I appreciate you guys even bringing me on here. Like, I'm so humbled, and I'm so like, oh my God, I'm nervous, I'm about to throw up. But yeah, keep it going, guys. You guys will go very, very far. Y'all the top in Orlando right now, so you feel me? Keep it going, because I want to see y'all doing celebrities and all that extra shit.
Of course. And that's
I already told Paul we're gonna make it. I was like, I don't care if I have to learn how to edit videos. We do it in 1 week. I don't care. We gotta do it now.
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
And that's why I want to bring her on as a co-host, because I feel like she doesn't realize how good she is.
She almost did not come. I'm like, girl, you better sit down.
Sorry.
She's like, let
me go do my hair.
I can't wait to have you back, though. And when I have you back, you're gonna be talking about all the bars you got now, and then you're gonna be talking about how you in New York. I'm gonna have to maybe do a virtual one,
Zoom call.
A little Zoom call.
Guys, I'm in Dubai.
I love it, though, and that was the best way to end it off, man. Like, for everybody watching out there, thank you guys for tuning in again. Again, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, follow me on IG. I'm gonna have show some love. I'm gonna have all of Slim's, like,
get your book,
social media and everything. So if you guys want to reach out, ask her for any advice, I'm gonna leave all her contact information down below. But ladies, again, thank you guys for tuning in.
I will never get over it. I will never go to anyone else besides Swade. That's like when she said she's hiring.
Expensive, so, and it works.
Listen.
But everybody have a blessed day out there. Tune into the next episode. I'm gonna have episodes with Ro. We're gonna do fitness episodes, sports episodes.
I can't always do it backwards.
Music episodes. There are a lot more coming up soon, man. So everybody have a blessed day out there, man.
Hold that top. Hold that.